left-wing Kingz. Listen, think, act, repeat.
The presidential immunity debate focuses on the idea that a sitting president cannot be prosecuted or sued for actions taken while in office. Donald J. Trump is fighting the D.C. Circuit Court's presidential immunity decision, arguing that he's immune from prosecution for his actions on January 6th because they were within his presidential duties. Now, the Supreme Court has decided to hear arguments on whether former President Donald Trump can claim immunity from prosecution for his alleged role in trying to overthrow the 2020 election. So, Ace, why is this Supreme Court decision so important?
I mean, boy, them Supreme Court appointments, they hit different now, don't they, man? You know what I'm saying? Real talk. They hit different. You know, you put 3 Supreme Court justices out there, and now they get to choose the fate that, was he immune when he did all the crimes that he did? You know what I'm saying? So it's very important. It sets a very bad precedent, you know what I'm saying, when you become, you know, if you allow presidents to be able to get away with anything as long as they're in office. I mean, we going back centuries. We going back before the Constitution, pretty much. When you're going to a point where, and even though we have people around the world in other countries that actually act like this, Putin, you know what I'm saying? But we're coming to a point where now, if you let him get away with this, and he gets a second term, I mean, man, what is he gonna get away with, man? What is he gonna be able to do? Like that SEAL Team 6 thing's gonna be reality? You know, he's gonna take out, you know, Biden. He's gonna take out Obama. He's gonna take out anybody, Liz Cheney. You know, anybody he wants to. Anybody says anything about. He already reacts crazy when you just say something against him. Now just think if he has the power to do anything. Hey, you know what, man? I got immunity, so you can't do anything to me while I'm here. So, no, man, we're setting ourselves up for something that America's not ready for, that it's not used to.
Yeah.
Definitely agree. It's like a little Putin coming, a little Putin Jr. The Supreme Court shapes our constitutional guides, like it guides us, all of our principles. So again, if he is immune and they say that he has immunity, that means he can do whatever he wants. Now you have a king instead of a democratic process. So to me, it's just going to completely shape how we even govern ourselves as a whole. So something definitely to look at. What else was I going to say? And then definitely just furthering the delays. That's what I think this is. Just delay, instead of actually addressing the topic at hand.
It's a strategy.
Right. So I think in that, the Supreme Court, it's got to definitely be careful on how it's walking. You're talking about Supreme Court, it's not supposed to be political in any ways, but what's happening is it's taking a political stance by delaying what is happening with Trump. So, and they have the power to do so. It's getting a little scary.
Yeah, it's funny that you bring that up, the delay tactic, because in this case, Jack Smith asked the Supreme Court to hear this prior to it going to the D.C. Circuit Court, and the Supreme Court said no.
Yeah.
Why? Are they helping in this delay? I mean, they could have, if they were going to decide to hear it later on, they should have just did it then.
Yeah.
And not worry about what the D.C. Circuit Court was going to do, because you want to step in and you feel, because what they're saying now, what I hear them saying is, this is important because the Supreme Court should have a say in what the outcome is, right? The D.C. Circuit Court made a decision, but we should have a say.
Not really.
You know, but I'm just saying that's what they say, right? And that's why they're doing it. But if that's the case, you should have did it in the first time Jack Smith asked you to do it.
Yeah, so we could have time to have the trial. So yeah, looks like they're helping them a lot. You know, I don't think it's ironic or it's a coincidence that Clarence Thomas's wife is all embedded in January 6th, and now he gets to make a decision. We know which way he's going to vote. You know what I'm saying? The other 2 judges that Trump appointed, I don't trust them either. You know what I'm saying? I don't. You know what I'm saying? So, wow, it's just crazy that this is. You know, it's funny that this is even something we're talking about.
Right.
A president that committed heinous crimes against this country basically has a loophole that he's playing through to get out of it. You know what I'm saying? That's actually what's happening, you know? And so let's look who's at fault at this. Mitch McConnell, right? He made it possible. One, he blocked the fact that Obama wasn't able to appoint a judge, right? He went out of his way to do that. Then he rushed and allowed Trump, and we say Mitch McConnell, but let's talk about the Democrats too. You know, you allow Mitch McConnell to manipulate things and allow him to put these judges here. So when history looks back at this, and when they look back at this, it's going to be ugly. You know what I'm saying? It's people right now that are, and like, oh, it's a coincidence. Mitch McConnell, now all of a sudden he's going to step down from the Congress in November and all this, and he just announced that. Yeah, I'd get the hell out of here too if I was you. You know what I'm saying? Because your name is going to be ugly when it comes to history on what you did and what you allowed to happen, getting these judges in here. If these judges make this guy immune and this guy comes out and pardons himself and does all kinds of crazy stuff that he's already done. Everything we're talking about Trump doing, he's done it. His border wall scam that he had, he pardoned everybody on that. He pardoned Michael Flynn. He pardoned, which was with the Russian scandal. Everything we're talking about are things that he's done, crimes that he's committed. And we're allowing him to have a loophole to get out of it. Why? I don't. Why is that? How is that even possible?
Yeah.
And so it's just disgusting.
The thing that I find interesting in all of these 90 whatever charges he has against him is that instead of fighting the cases, he's trying to find technical loopholes to get out of going to court. That does not tell me that you feel you're innocent.
Oh,
that tells me that you're afraid of actually having to go to court and fight something. It's just like anybody. Like, if I know I was doing something wrong and I got to go to court about it, I know for certain that, hey, they going to find out. They know that I did this or did that. But if I felt like I was innocent, I didn't do anything
I'm
genuinely.
trying to get that quick, fast, in a hurry.
Exactly. I'm like, I'm going to go fight this. Have you ever been like pulled over for like something you didn't do and you was like, I'm going to court on this shit?
Always.
Because you're going to fight that shit. He ain't like, I'm going to court on this shit. He like, man, how can we get out of going to court on this shit? You know what I'm saying?
He knows he did it. And witch hunt. Come on, man. And witch hunt comes from what? Salem witch trials, which we figured out those people weren't witches. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's a witch hunt. That's a witch hunt.
Right.
It means they making up stuff on you that ain't true.
Yeah.
Bro, not only are they not making up stuff and they had evidence, like you took them documents, but you said you took the documents. Right. We heard you say you got the documents. Yeah. We heard you tell us what's on the documents. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, so this witch hunt, this victimization that he comes up with, this I'm being oppressed, and because I'm black, you sneakers and mugshots don't oppress me, that I'm being oppressed, and all this stuff. Like, nonsense. He did everything. Yeah. And like you said, he's using stall tactics. He's using the rules of the court against them to get out of it. Yeah. And it's just scary that, okay, man, he set all the dominoes up now to where it's a strong possibility he might get out of this. You know what I mean? Maybe not strong, but it's it's a possibility, which is scary. Yeah. That these two goons, or these three goons, Clarence Thomas being the leader, might just let this guy go. And jumping in the case they don't have to be in. The Supreme Court don't have to take your case. No, they don't. They choosing to take this one at the time they choosing to take it is very skeptical. Like you said, they had an opportunity to take this and cast a judgment. We could have been done with this already. Yeah. Now they doing it to where Jack Smith and them running out of time to get the January 6th case done. So, it's all strategic.
Yeah. So, with this presidential immunity thing, let's say presidents had absolute immunity. Let's just say theoretically that they did. What would happen to the balance of power between the executive, legislative, and judicial branches of our government?
It would collapse the system of separation of powers completely, like desolate it. I mean, that's it. That's just saying you can do whatever you want anytime, and it's okay to do. It's okay to murder. Like you said, I think we had a conversation about typically what it's supposed to be used for, immunity, is so it shelters them in case of them doing their position. So if I have to send your child off to war and your child dies, you can't come back and sue me later saying, well, you sent my child to war and now here you have murdered, indirectly my child and now I'm going to sue you. It shelters them from those kind of situations. It does not shelter them from insurrection, from defrauding the government. We have to understand what is the purpose of immunity itself and what it's not supposed to protect. It does not protect criminal activity or direct criminal activity. It's supposed to shelter them and help them with their job, being able to make tough decisions. And unfortunately, in war, right, people die. But is that murder? No. And then why is it not? Because of things like this.
Yeah, I mean, I think we got a prime example on what this world's going to look like if this comes through. I mean, look at Navalny, you know what I'm saying, in Russia. You know, it's stuff like that where it's going to be just so happened as a coincidence that this dude went to prison and died because, you know, he wasn't, you know, feeling good or whatever the case may be. It's going to be all kinds of messed up. Just so happened that the other dude who opposed him, his helicopter was flying or whatever, and it just blew up all of a sudden. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of nonsense we gonna have. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this about what you just said. Well, would it even be worse? Because if the president's immune, I think Putin is actually trying to make it look like he didn't do anything, right?
Yeah.
But if you got immunity,
it don't matter what you
I don't
do.
give a fuck.
Well, but I think that's world court. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to make him. I think in Russia he don't care. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, in Russia, but the world. I mean, if we got immunity over here, I don't think Trump would give a. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
But look at the playbook, man, with Russia. Russia kind of closes their citizenship off in the world, and they kind of run the narrative when it comes to what the Ukraine war looks like or anything outside of Russia. I mean, according to people probably in Russia who don't have a lot of access to things on the outside, I mean, shoot, everything's okay. So then I can say this and I can say that happens. We criticize them from the outside. I think Trump would try to, you know, in the world court still look like, hey, I ain't over here murking nobody when he actually is. We know he is. I mean, he's lying like that now. So imagine when he has immunity, what he can kind of get away with. He's always going to try to make himself look like he's good and he's doing something. I don't think he's just going to just be blatantly not caring, but it's going to be ugly. You know, either way it goes.
Well, I mean, when it comes to like checks and balances, for me, I kind of think of it in a way like, okay, let's say the president says, I want, let's say Biden says, I want you to pass this bill that says all student loans are paid off. All right. He said, I want this bill. You get what I'm saying? Let's say they all vote and some people vote no. Well, I have immunity. So I'm going to put you in jail.
Yeah.
Because you voted no. I'm going to have you killed because you voted no. So if you don't vote yes on shit I want, you're going to be in jail or you're going to be dead. And then I have a track record of doing this because guess what? I have presidential immunity. I can do it's within the scope of my job.
Yeah.
Right. And so then you start the checks and balances go away because the way it's supposed to be is
accountability.
They vote for whatever and it stands. And then the president has the opportunity to veto something if he doesn't agree. Right. But then there are consequences for vetoing shit that gets voted in. Most presidents don't want to veto shit. Right. So these are all the checks and balances that go into play. And then there's also the judicial side that's supposed to come in and do shit like this, like with the Supreme Court. Let's say the Supreme Court makes a decision, or he tells the Supreme Court, I want you to vote this way on Roe versus Wade. If you don't, you know what I'm gonna do. The same thing I'm doing to the senators.
SEAL Team 6.
Something gonna happen to your family.
Yeah.
Some, you know what I'm saying? Like, if he can, that's what I think. When I think of checks and balances and what could happen if they have immunity, they could just scare everybody. He already scaring half the people into doing shit just off of his name and threats that people have. Imagine if he had immunity. Or imagine if any president had immunity. Wouldn't you want to be president if you could have immunity from any crime? Everybody be running for president. Shit.
Yeah. I mean, you know, you think about it. I mean, you know, you want to say Hitler, but we going back to ancient Rome, Julius Caesar,
Right.
where, you know, I'll just march the 101st Division, down on the Capitol and surround the Capitol until y'all make a decision on what you want to do. I mean, it can get crazy. Come on, think about January 6th, what we're talking about, that he's fighting to get immunity for. Think about what he did already.
Yeah.
And he's saying he should be immune from that, Right. Now just think about him if he has the power to do that now without any repercussion. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I mean, I'll just order, the 101st Airborne to go down to the Capitol next January 6th. Next time we're trying to do the vote, get the vote through for presidency. And y'all either gonna do it or people going to jail or people gonna die.
Yeah.
They had nooses out there, bruh. You know what I'm saying? They had nooses out there. they had a lot of ex-military people that made strategic plans to stop the vote for being ratified. You know what I'm saying? So that's without any power. He did that without any backup with presidential immunity. So we give him immunity, which he's trying to get immune on January 6th, which he came close to pulling off already. Well, just imagine next time he runs for president, if he comes any close to losing, I'm just gonna go down there and take it.
Yeah.
Just think if he wants to make an example of people at the border and make it a real crisis, not just say it's a crisis. I'll just send people down there to do it, no matter what. No matter what's said. So yeah, it's gonna give somebody power in a system that isn't supposed to give one man power.
Yep.
So
how could this decision or just presidential immunity impact the 2024 election or even future elections?
Hopefully, the hope is, let's say the Supreme Court does do that. The hope would be that would turn off real Americans and real patriots, and they'll go to the ballot box and they'll still vote him out anyway because they'll be too scared on giving him that power. I mean, that would maybe it shoots him in the foot. Guys say, yo, hold up, man, this is a little too much. I mean, I like Trump, but I don't want this dude to have immunity.
Right.
Maybe somebody, some people come to their sense and say, look, I like him for whatever reason I did, but I do believe that he was probably crooked in January 6th. I don't want to give him that power to be able to do that without any anything happening to him. So yeah, hopefully the hope is that even if this goes through, the Supreme Court is stupid enough to do it and vote on it, he shoots himself in the foot and he doesn't win the 2024 election. And we know, and this goes away. That would be the hope. But unfortunately, I just don't have any faith in American people like that. Just don't.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I want to say people still believe in accountability, though. And so with that, you don't have any accountability. And I think that is the problem with what's happening now in the government is people are frustrated. It's like there's no accountability. I can get up there, say one thing, not follow through on my promises, and then get reelected year after year. That is why people keep saying they want change and I need something different and I don't want the status quo and, the old, democracy and I need somebody new in there. And that's why they like Trump. But I think people still believe in accountability of actions. And so with immunity, you decrease that. So I just feel, well, hopefully, again, with the Supreme Court, if they don't rule or if they do rule in that position, like you said, people come out there and vote and use their voice.
And I just don't think they believe in being anything about accountability because they haven't held anybody accountable. They haven't held Trump accountable. They haven't held Clarence Thomas accountable. They haven't held Mitch McConnell accountable. The true base Republican basically turns a blind eye on everything that they do. There's no accountability. And that's the scary part about it. I don't understand the end game of them if they give him what he wants. Just don't. Somebody has to sit down and explain that one to me. Yeah. If you give Trump everything he wants, what's the end game? Because he hasn't promised you anything. Or he's done nothing to give you nothing. So change? Yeah, we like to see some change. But I don't think that's the change you want right there. Hey, man, let's give this dude immunity, give him all the power. He's going to take care of us. The New York trial should show right now, Trump don't take care of business. He don't do things on the up and up right now. That's why they suing him in New York. I always said this when Trump came out. Trump's from New York. Never heard one New Yorker, Republican, Democrat, support Trump, come out and endorse Trump. Nobody from that area. You know what I'm saying? That's like going to your neighborhood and nobody have good things to say about you. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they got all bad things to say about you, 9 times out of 10, you was bad. If you was cutting up in your neighborhood and you had a bad reputation, we go to your neighborhood and ask them about you, they gonna tell us the truth. Nah, you know what? He was a thug. He was breaking into people's houses and shit. No, we don't trust him. That's what New York says about Trump. But for some reason, somebody in Ohio living in a rural town thinks this dude is going for him. People in his own neighborhood don't mess with him. That's why they suing him now. And it ain't a witch hunt. They got the documents and all the things on his business to let you know he was crooked. Right. We want to give this guy power.
Right. You know he's crooked. He don't pay taxes, y'all. He does not pay tax and then tells you he does not. And tells everybody else they're dumb for paying him. That's the kind of person you're dealing with.
I don't want y'all to be dumb. I want y'all to be smart and click that like button.
I'm glad you hear one line. He
Make
can do
sure
it to you this time.
you click the like button. Make sure that you subscribe to Left Wing Kings and also share this content with all your social media platforms. Now, let's get into some of the comments that we have on our live stream real quick. All right, so we got a few comments here. We got Peter J. Milner, my man from the UK, says the real question is, should we call him Genghis Trump or Donald Khan?
Agree.
Peter, man, do me a favor, man. Throw in the comments what time it is over there.
You
man.
and your time scheme.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
So,
I'm not going to go do the Google and all that, man. Just put it in the comments for me, Peter.
we got Dr. Carla Sizer. She says, if it were anyone else, President Obama wouldn't even wear a tan suit. So if it were anywhere else, President Obama wouldn't even wear a tan suit. No balance.
Yeah, no,
She
not
says,
at all.
vote.
Please.
All right. Let's see. And Peter also says, or could it be that Anakin Trump now wants to be Darth Vader?
There you go.
I love the Star Wars reference. That's they're my boys right there.
5:22.
Don't even do Darth
5:22
Vader like
PM.
that.
It's 5:22 p.m. They good.
Okay,
They
they're
good.
good. They're good.
Yeah.
All right, so Dr. Sizer says, I think the Supreme Court will not allow this. But if people don't vote and he gets in office, the whole case is shot.
Yeah.
However, the Supreme Court will likely delay everything.
Yeah.
Endgame, they haven't thought that far in advance. The precedent is being set. Yeah, that's the thing, man. Like,
That's a
this
scary
is a
thing.
precedent-setting situation. And when
Yes,
we talk
yes.
about, like, how will it impact 2024 election and future elections? It's not only Trump that we need to worry about.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't even
Everybody.
know who else is coming. And we don't know what they might want to do. So this is a precedent-setting thing where we start making presidents immune from prosecution and do whatever they want. It's going to set us up for failure. That's all I got to say about that. Now, I also wanted to know, like, what are some things a president should have immunity from? Because to your point, Walanda, there was a point that you brought up that, hey, this is the intent. Now, it's not in the Constitution or anything.
Yeah.
But it is kind of like taking, hey, the president's immune from certain actions. What are some of the things that we think they should be immune from?
Right, like we said in the death and war, official acts, executive orders. I don't think that's part of what being the president. You can do executive orders, national security decisions, and of course anything that's avoiding compromising the United States. So these are really big, broad, national security issues. But anything else, no. I mean, to me, no one, like we keep saying over and over again, should be above the law, and that includes the president in chief. So if it's not still dealing directly with United States and national security, then I say no. And again, like wars, death and wars is probably the biggest one. You shouldn't come back and have to be able to, have a criminal charge against you for making decisions that are for the greater good.
All right, okay, listen, I'm going to help it out, man. We're going to take this to Trump world, make him feel good. Really, really. Trump made some bad decisions when it came to COVID. A lot of people died. He made some bad decisions. He decided not to tell us. He decided to lie about it. He went on and said it. He went in on and admitted that. Okay. Should we be able to go back and say, all right, Trump, somebody died in COVID and you told us that you lied?
We shouldn't.
You know what I'm saying? It's a common sense decision to make when it comes to what the presidency does. He made a bad decision. We hated it. A lot of people died for it. Should Trump go to prison for that? No.
Right.
Probably not. You know what I'm saying? He was the president. Presidents make decisions that unfortunately lives get taken. We all understand that. That's what presidential immunity for it. It's not a hard definition for it.
Right.
But if a sitting president sits around in a rally and says, hey, let's go march down and let's go down here, and people get killed out of it, and we know we have, and let's say what they're trying to say, Trump did it and it was on a whim and he just said it out of being emotional and they went down and did it and people got killed. Probably wouldn't be in trouble for that either because he just was saying a speech. People took his word out of context, and that's what they did. That's what they're trying to say January 6th is. The problem with what really happened is y'all been planning this for months. Y'all been trying to do this. You know what I'm saying? This was the plan to do this. Oh, by chance, you had a rally on the day we ratify the President of the United States. You even tried to get your vice president to change it over.
Right.
You even went and got some fake electors. You did all kinds of stuff.
Right.
Other than just have that speech.
Right.
That's the problem with January 6th. It's not that he just said some things and people acted on it because he's the president. You're right. 9 times out of 10, he'd be immune to that. But no, not after we got a whole slew of evidence that showed you planned to take over the government, and this was actually a coup. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, one of the sitting judges, his wife was involved with that. Bought buses for people to go down there. She was in the planning stages of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's messed up that not only are you trying to talk presidential immunity, but the person gonna get you off was involved with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Appointed, or at least somebody who supports you and you're
Yeah.
aware of it.
So let me ask you this. All right, there are some things that he should be, or that any president should be immune from, that you're acting within your job. So should we amend the Constitution to like put a list of some specific actions so that we don't have this argument ever again? Like, these are the things that a president's immune from.
Look, I breathe hard because let me first just tell you what you have to do to get an amendment, though.
I know it's not
okay,
easy.
so
You got to go through a whole
yes,
lot.
to propose it, first you have 2/3 vote of the House and Senate. Or you can have a constitutional convention of 2/3 of state legislators. So that
Never
is,
gonna get that because the
Right.
MAGA
Right.
Republicans is just
and then ratification, 3/4 of states, so that's 75%. Legislators and 3/4 of the states. Legislators or 3/4 of the states. The probability of that is so difficult. Look where we're at. We got Republicans who don't agree with other Republicans. They're fighting within their own party. So I think I would like that. But just where we're at right now, with people being in agreement and being able to compromise, I don't see that with such high numbers. That's 3/4. That's a lot.
I mean, I don't want to sit here and act like I was in the room when Thomas Jefferson was writing the Constitution and the forefathers were putting it together. But I think some things they left for common damn sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
No.
Yeah, but I think in presidential immunity, I get it. But I think we should be smart enough, and I know we're not because Trump just turned the whole world upside down with common sense. But I mean, we should have enough common sense to say, all right, this is a crime that he shouldn't be charged for because he should have presidential immunity. But this one isn't. Just like, if the president just started, hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm just going to start robbing banks. I'm the president. You know what I'm saying? Would he have presidential immunity? I think common sense tells us no, he wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? But because all these technical legal, we got the number one con man in the world who ran for president and been in court his whole life, so he's utilizing the court system to his advantage. And it's just horrible that now we probably do need to go define the damn, presidential immunity because nobody ever thought we'd have to do that because we thought we had common sense.
Right.
Exactly.
And I think we do need to, like you said, we do need to define it, I think. And two things. Common sense, ain't no such thing. I'm gonna tell you right now, we got processes in place because, and you know this, somebody will do something. It'll be common sense to do this, set up this meeting, or let me know, talk to this person and let them know there's a meeting and get what time they can meet before you set up the meeting. That makes sense, right? Mm-hmm. But we got people at some people's job that don't do that. They just set up a meeting and then tell somebody later, well, you have to be there. No, I don't. Look, I don't got time. This time is booked. Whatever. That's common sense.
Yeah.
But some people don't do that. It's just what it is. Everybody doesn't think the same way.
Yeah.
And then also, yeah, it's hard to amend the Constitution, but just because something is hard to do doesn't mean it's not worth doing. So just because it's hard to do, there's a lot of things in life that are hard to do. And usually the things that are hard to do are the things that are most worth doing because people are trying to put things in your way to stop you from doing it and make it difficult. And when we sit back and say, well, that's just too hard to do, I don't think that's ever going to happen. Somebody's in the background going, yes, exactly what I wanted. I made it hard like this on purpose so that you wouldn't do it. So
Like voting.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? We're going to make that shit hard on purpose.
Yeah.
So basically, I think, it's hard to do, but I think that we sometimes just need, there's been a bunch of amendments to the Constitution.
Not
There
recently.
have been, not recently, but there have been.
Yeah.
We'd still be slaves.
Oh, no.
I mean,
I'm just saying, like, we're just such an...
there's been shit that's happened, like, and we just sit back and act like, well, we're not going to do it because it's not worth it. It is worth it.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree. I agree with you. I'm just saying where we're at right now, I just don't see it happening. And I'm an optimist. I'm just saying I do agree.
The question
I'm
is,
just saying
should we
it's
do
just-
it?
Right. Oh, no, I said yes. I said definitely yes, but just understand the process is going to be a challenge. And again, if people cannot talk to each other and people cannot hold real conversations, we do all this crazy. The Congress right now is just, it's like a clown show. It's crazy that they won't even talk to each other. They won't even bring it to the floor to speak about it. That's what I'm saying would probably be the problem.